Next, we're going to get into our fighter spotlight of the week. I got to do it because I called it as well. If you parlayed all three of them, good on you because you're probably rolling in the dough after that. But I called it. He's on a 5-fight win streak. This man is a 5'11" boxer, orthodox style, with a 72-inch reach at 145 pounds, fighting out of Pueblo, Mexico, fighting out of Lobos Gym, training partner of Alexagrasso. We are talking about 29 years old, Diego Lopes da Silva. But Diego Lopes. What a guy. What a guy. The man is 26-6 now with his unanimous decision win over Brianortega. Brianortega looking like a world beater. Had only lost to was it former champions? Yeah. Had only lost to former champions before this. Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez, interim. Don't forget about that. Don't forget about that. We count interims. He beat Josh Emmett. We count interims. Carlos Condit's a champion in my heart. Dustin Poirier is a champion in my heart. Who else? Daniel Cormier. He did become undisputed, but remember he was interim and then bumped up the champion. But yeah, still a champion in my heart. And obviously he won the heavyweight championship too. But yeah, what a win. What a win. Knocks down Brianortega in round 1 with a crazy hook. Puts him down, almost subs him, takes the back, starts pounding on him. It's a miracle that Brianortega survived, really. Beats him up in round 2. Beats him up in round 3. Almost puts him, I think he did put him down again in round 3. Almost subbed him again. At the end, still trying to finish it, throwing crazy haymakers. Diego Lopes got that dog in him. That boy's a beast. I told y'all. Diego Lopes, man. Diego Lopes, what a performance. If I'm iliatopuria, I'm looking at him like, well, he's a beast, but I think I can finish that guy. I mean, he did lose to Movsar Evloev by decision. He did get knocked out by a rando in 2018 at ACB. And Rodrigo Praya in 2014. So he can be knocked out. He can be controlled. But you got to stay out the pocket with this man. This man will put you in the pocket, start throwing hooks, uppercuts, that Mexican boxing style, head down, coming right at you. And he'll put the pressure on you, and you'll wilt at some point. You got to be tough to stay in that fight. You got to be tough like Brianortega. You got to be tough like Dan Ige. Because if you have even a shredded down your mind like Gavin Tucker, Pat Sabatini, and Sadiq Yusuf, even a tiny little shred, that boy gonna take your soul, and he gonna get the finish. And he doesn't care if it's a TKO, a knockout, or a submission. He almost has equal knockouts to submissions because he'll whoop your ass and grab that neck. He don't need the TKO. He just wants to finish the fight. Diego Lopes, a bona fide finisher. 22 of his 26 wins by finish. Wow. And of his 6 losses, 2 by knockout, 4 decisions. Never lost by submission. So you thought he was going to So you thought he was going to lose by submission to Brianortega when that's never happened to him before? I didn't think this was going to be the stage. The man fights out of he's Brazilian, but he fights out of Mexico. The man is doing the UFC favors. And by the way, his loss to Movsar Evloev when he got controlled, it was on 5 days' notice. Throw the man a bone. He's taking fights. He replaced he replaced Bryce Mitchell and still got a Fight of the Night award. You know what I mean? Like, well, He's that guy that the UFC likes. He'll step in short notice and fight a tough guy. He'll get near finishes, excite the crowd. He will get you a finish as well. He's a beast, man. He's a beast. He's a performance of the night award winner time and time again. I don't know if he got one for this one. No, I don't think he got one for this one. There's a lot of fun fights and finishes on this one. So, I mean, whatever. And decided to fight the same guy after he dropped out on him and fight a completely new guy on a less than a day's notice. He beat Dan Ige and still comes back to beat Ortega. He said, "No, you're still getting this ass whooping. I had to fucking fight somebody else because of you? No. Bring that ass here, boy." And he put it on the ground. So Diego Lopes, what a win. You should get your title shot next. Wait for the winner of Max Holloway and iliatopuria. Then after that, hopefully you get your win. If you don't and iliatopuria gets 2 title defenses, then he'll probably fight O'Malley in Georgia. O'Malley should take some time off, bulk up, go to the 45. 35 ain't your thing no more. You should be aiming towards fun fights. You're already a champion. You don't look like you're going to be one of those guys that stays around a long time anyways. Might as well start making your moves now. But yeah. So Diego Lopes, I can't wait for the fun fights that come after this for him. Just sit on the bench, bro. Don't take any more fights. We don't need you fighting any of these guys. We don't need you fighting Max Holloway. We don't, unless it's for the title. We don't need you fighting Volkanovski. Don't do that. We don't need you fighting Yair. Don't do that. We don't need you fighting Arnold Allen. That's a dangerous fight. We don't need your Mosar Evloev rematch. Evloev's fighting Aljamain Sterling anyways, and we don't need you fighting Aljo. Aljo is a dangerous fight as well. You already beat. Did you beat Josh Emmett? We don't need you fighting Josh Emmett either. Yeah, you haven't fought Josh Emmett. We don't need you fighting him either. I mean, those are some good names under your belt. Sadiq Youssef finish, Danny Ige decision, Brian Ortega decision. Yeah, man. I think we know what's next. And from his style and from what I've seen from him, I honestly could see Diego as our next champion. I really can, unless Max is there. Max is going to be a really tough matchup for him. That's one of the ones I don't see Diego beating, just because of how good Max's boxing is. Now, if he was able to get on Max's back, which not a lot of people have done, but if he was able to do that, that would create some problems. But I don't see him doing that either. So his toughest matchup in the division for me is Max Holloway. His second toughest matchup is probably Volkanovski, then Topuria. Topuria can be hit. He's also small, not as long as Diego. Diego's got a pretty long reach, 72 inches. So that'll be a problem for Ilya. Max Holloway's got short arms. I think Max Holloway's got like a 68 or 67-inch reach, maybe 69 even. But yeah. Diego Lopes, my fighter spotlight of the week. This kid is crazy. I couldn't believe the amount of punches he was putting on Brian Ortega. Yeah, nobody's made Brian Ortega look like that since Max Holloway. So, just something to be said and something to look out for. Diego Lopes. I if there's not a crazy fight for you next or the title fight, I would be shocked. I'd be absolutely shocked. The fight of night bonuses did not go to them. They gave it to Ribovic, Zellhuber, Bahamondes, and Souza. Okay. But I'd be willing to bet that Uncle Dana dropped off a little bag of cash for Diego, because that was the excitement of the main card, seeing as how we had 2 decisions after that. I mean, all 3 of those non-title fights were pretty exciting. They had near finishes. The Rodriguez Osborne fight, Esteban Ribovic, Zellhuber, and Lopez Ortega. Lopez Ortega being my favorite of the 2 because of the stakes, because of who Ortega is, and because of what Diego Lopes almost finishing twice, maybe 3 times in the fight. So Diego Lopes deserves all his praise. He should be chilling on the sidelines just waiting for his big fight, because his next fight is going to be for the title. Shout out to Diego Lopes. Shout out to Lobos Gym. Shout out to the Brazilians and the Mexicans. Shout out to that hairstyle and that bad tattoo. But this man deserves the best. And I can't wait to see what the UFC has in store for him.